Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, the Daily Double. We're starting new Masechta. We started yesterday, the first Mishna. Masechta Shabbos, not only a new Masechta, but also a new Seder. Seder Moed begins with Masechta Shabbos. People are familiar with the concept of Shabbos. It's happening in about 6 hours from now here in Israel. Mishnah Beis Lo Yeshev Adam Lifnei Asap or Samach Mincha. This Mishnah, the Gemara explains. Now, it's nice that I have gone through Daf Yomi and I really know what the Gemara talks about. A lot of these Mishnayos. There's no Gemara, so I didn't have the privilege of knowing what the Mishnah is really talking about. But the Gemara explains it's talking about nothing to do with Shabbos. It's a Mincha on a regular day. So Malchus at the Gemara, we talk about Mincha Gedola at 12:30 or 3:30. Anyway, within a half an hour before Mincha Gedola or Mincha Ketana, you shouldn't sit in front. Depending, I think the Psak Halacha is really Mincha Ketana, which is 3:30. You shouldn't sit in front of a Sapper. You shouldn't go to a barber. Samach Mincha. Achi Ispal until you daven Mincha. You shouldn't go into a bathhouse, a spa, I would say. V'lo Borsaki, you shouldn't go into a place where they clean your leather. They clean your or a place where they Borsaki means they tan your leather. But I would say also to give someone either your upholstery or your couches to clean or something like that, where they're going to clean your leather. You shouldn't go into a meal. You shouldn't go into a court case, into a beis din. Right? Because the reason is because they might take a long time. You might miss mincha. Nonetheless, if you're over on Aveira, you started samuch lemincha, ein mafsikin. We don't stop you. You can continue whatever you're doing, eating, the court case, the haircut, because usually it doesn't take that long, and you'll have time to daven mincha afterwards. This second half of the Mishnah is talking about something else. It's talking about people who are learning the whole day, like Shimon Yochai and his friends, Toraso Naso. According to Israel, anyone who's Haredi is Toraso Naso, learning in yeshiva, and that's why you don't have to go to the army. You could stop. You have to stop in the middle of learning, even though you're learning all day. You have to stop to say Kriya Shema. Nonetheless, even if you're going to miss tefillah, you don't have to stop your learning to daven. Kriya Shema, you have to stop. Tefillah, you don't have to stop. If you Torah Som Nasa, you're learning all day. If you're in Kolal, you're learning all day. Even though the Gemara says there's no Torah Som Nasa anymore, only Rishon Bar Yochai and his friends, because nowadays we go get coffees and we schmooze in the coffee room. I'll talk more about this explanation as last time this Mishnah Ian Mitzion. Mishnah Gimel b'machto samuch l'chashecha. This is talking about Hilchos Shabbos. A chaya is someone who he's a tailor. He has needles that he works with. He shouldn't go out with his needle that he uses to sew with. Samuch l'chashecha, close to Shabbos, half an hour before Shkia on Shabbos. Shema yishkach v'yetze, or it could be half an hour samuch to say sakol chavim. It's not so, you don't have to be machmer. Shkia is a chumrah. I mean, a lot of the Hasidim rely that Shabbos doesn't start until Rabbeinu Tam, which is closer to our Seis HaKochavim, which is the latest share for Seis HaKochavim. So it's a chumrah to start Shabbos at Shkia. It's very possible that Shabbos only starts at Seis HaKochavim. You shouldn't go out Samach Hashecha Shema Yishach V'yetze, because what happened? You might go out, you might forget, you might not realize that that you have the needle with you in your pocket, and you'll go out and you'll come back in and you'll go out and be over on Hotzah of carrying from which is a Malacha Daraisa Lavler B'Kulmaso, someone, a scribe who has a pen or a quill that he shouldn't also go out Samach Hashecha, because he doesn't realize it's something he always has on him, so therefore he won't take it out of his pockets. Below Yufala as Kalov, also on Shabbos, nothing to do with Hotzah. You shouldn't kill bugs or fleas on your shirt, because either it's a problem of killing something, which is a malacha, or it's a problem. That's really the problem. The problem is you might kill it. You shouldn't read anything if you don't have lights on, electricity. You only have a candle. You shouldn't read something by a candle, because you might tilt the candle, and when you tilt an oil candle, right? So therefore, it's a malacha of either havara or kiboy, because you're making it the light better. You're drawing more oil to the wick, or you're diminishing oil from the wick, in which case the malacha. It used to be that people used to have avos ubanim. They had older people, or than avos, the chazan, person in charge. He used to teach them Torah, or maybe they teach them how to lane on Shabbos. That's the explanation I would like to explain. He can show them by the light of alhulo yikreb, because even if they tilt it, he can't read. He can show others to read. As long as he's not reading, we're not concerned he's going to tilt the light, tilt the candle. And the children are under bar mitzvah, so they tilt it. It's not a problem. Similarly, another, because we're making gzeros over here, I'll tell you another gzera, even though it's not really hilchah Shabbos, right? Azav and azava. Azava sees blood at certain times, a woman, and Azav sees a seminal emission sometimes. It's in Isra Doraisa, it's also Mikares to be together with Azava. So if you eat together, you might come to cohabit together. We're talking about married couple over here. Therefore, you should say you shouldn't eat together, Azavim, Azava. So you shouldn't come to boel each other, to be together, and then you'd be over in Isra Kares. That's the conclusion of today's share. Stay tuned for Iyam Etzion, where I tell you a little deeper explanation in Mishna Beis.